Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Scale the Good podcast. My name is Vindhya. I'm a program director at GLX for the Climate Adaptation Accelerator. So I've been with GLX for the past 9 months, I'd say. And next to me is Vihangun.
Hello everyone, welcome to the next episode of Purpose Pivots. So I'm Vihangun, Ari Ratna, CEO of Good Life X, as well as I've founded few startups in the fields of organic agriculture, mine engineering, as well as Ayurvedic herbal medicine. So that's about it. So looking forward to share things went through in our journeys, and hopefully it will help. Yeah.
First question coming up.
Right. So the first question is, so you read out?
Okay, I'll read it. Talk about your backgrounds, experiences, and the foundation of the STEM world the world gave you. Sorry. Let me read that again. Talk about your backgrounds, experiences, and the foundation the STEM world gave you.
Okay. You want to start? Okay. Well, so my background is, so I'm a chemical and process engineer by my background. So I think, yeah, so I was working in the pharmaceuticals field and for a multinational.
Can you go back a little bit more?
Okay, like,
From university days, you're going for this?
yeah, so okay, so I'll tell you how it happened. So in Sri Lanka, so it's like basically if you're good in maths, they say that you want to be engineer. So that's how it happened, no? So my father, my friends, my relations, they said that okay, you're good in maths, you should be engineer. So in O levels, I wanted to test out for few things for my technical subject, but they said okay, you're going to be engineer, so you have to select electronics. Okay, I said yes, okay. But I was not good at electronics. I didn't know how to do circuits and everything. I was like, but I was okay. I got a AA for that, but I think it's just that I was good in the theory, but I was not a engineering wired person, right? So then I did the A levels well, and I got selected to Monash University engineering faculty. Then actually in first year we had to select fields, right? So I was more. I was in the cricket team. I was the batch, one of the batch reps, and I was doing certain other extracurriculars. So I was a completely different, like not academic. So then I became a chemical and process engineer because that was one of the few fields that I could select for my results in the uni, right? So I was initially thinking I was clueless, right? I mean, like I didn't had much engineers in my family to learn a lot, but when I went to the faculty only, I know that okay, this is mechanical engineering, this is electrical engineering, this is computer science. It's like just like I was listening to seniors, what they say. I actually didn't have idea because it was not my passion, no. So I was just okay, what is good for a good career or good life? Okay, they said this. Okay, whatever the options that we had, this was the best it seemed. So I said okay, we'll do chemical engineering. Then I did it. And I'll tell you how I got into GSK, if it's okay, because I think a place that I feel that I'm really blessed for being there. So this is a funny story actually. So we want to select the internship, and people were selecting because of their passion. I had a good passion for my like kind of a pharmaceutical engineering kind of. Because my family background, my father and mother, they are both doctors, but they wanted me to be a like kind of that field, but I didn't want. But then I was interested about it. But funnily, my cricket coach, I don't know whether this is too long, but I think I'll just yeah. But my cricket coach wanted, because we've never won a inter-university championship for 12 years. So we were like really onto it, and we wanted badly to win it, right? So we said we'll practice every day, right? So five days per week, right? Or at least 6 days a week, right? So we were doing really, and this internship came, and if we were to go to a like far place, we couldn't come for the practices. Then we were discussing, and my cricket coach said, okay, I'll find a place. And he called one of the directors of that company and said, do you have internship placements? I have 2 kids who would like to have placements. The whole thing was that, okay, if this was this, life was easier. So, and I was really thrilled to hear that it was a pharmaceutical engineering company, but it was a different primary course. So then he said, yeah, we can accommodate 2 interns, and I got a chance. Yeah, so I did the internship and I did well, and they were happy to take me for a permanent position. They offered me. I got certain other positions after I graduated, but I think I loved this place because it had that nice vibe. But it's not a pure engineering thing, but it was like had a better purpose, serving people. So because the motto of that was like, do more, feel better, live longer. So that struck me. So I think, okay, maybe I'll do it. But I got a job in the engineering field. So it was engineering compliance executive. So I started there and then moved through, it went through to technical innovations, projects, strategy kind of career. But that's how it started and it went. It was a little long, but I think, that was how it went, yeah? And how about you?
Okay, I think we've kind of stepped away from the question. I hope that's okay. So yeah, growing up, I think my interests varied quite a bit, right? So, I mean, I was always very much into history, things like that, world history. And math was okay for me. I liked logical things, science, I liked it. So when it came time to pick my subjects for A-levels even, I had no clue what to do, right? So, but I always... Not really, you know. I think in the end, I don't know, it's my upbringing, I guess, from my generation, let's say, right? So it seemed like men had more fun than women, right, in career. So I was determined to have a good career and all that. So I thought I'll do the, engineering route. I chose that for myself. My parents never, my parents are pretty cool. They're, like the youngest parents, I'd say, amongst my friends. So they're like, no pressure, nothing, yeah. So it's cool. So I just wanted to do what the boys do. So I thought I'll go into engineering. So I did my A-levels here. But then I knew we were going to migrate. So, and also I wasn't very keen on going to university in Sri Lanka because I was hearing these weird stories, ragging and all that. I was really worried about that. So, I mean, I don't know. So it's my upbringing again. So, so we migrated. So I did my engineering in the US, in New York. I did civil engineering. Actually, I started out in the School of Architecture. Yes, because I had an interest in design, so I thought I'd go into the School of Architecture. So my first year was in architecture, but that foundation, the first year is anyway similar. Then I found out, like, in your 5th year, so architecture degree is a 5-year degree, that they actually evaluate your, first design and say if you're any good. I'm like, after 5 years you tell me that? That would be terrible. So then I felt like I'm not really the artistic, creative type too. So obviously I switched to engineering. And I loved it, yeah. Yes, I loved it, yeah. I aced it, yes. It was, I think in Sri Lanka I really studied. I think people are going to be shocked when they hear this, but we didn't have textbooks for A-levels, my batch, yeah. When I ask the batches before me and after me, they're not saying that at all. We did not have.
Your specific things.
Yeah, so I really struggled because, I was relying completely on my teachers and, and not every teacher, can teach well, right? It's public school. So I really struggled and I didn't want to go for these extra tuition and all that. I'm against that. So, so then, yeah, I struggled on my own, let's say, yes. But so when I went to the US and, oh my God, things are so clear and I just kind of understood everything. I was very popular because, I don't know, I was just such a happy period in my life, my uni years. Did a lot of extracurricular things. Batch top, yes, and I was, president of this, captain of that, yes, it was an excellent time in uni. I loved everybody, and I think I was quite popular with the professors too, because I think coming from Sri Lanka, we are more respectful towards, our teachers, professors. So Yeah, so they, so it's like a mutual thing. So I'm in uni doing my civil engineering, and so I'm thinking I'm going heavy into design, right? So I did structural. So then, but my last summer in school, I did an internship for one of the top Manhattan design firms. So I sit there with, my boss was probably, like a 30-year veteran. So he gives me a part of a bridge to design. And then I look at his desk and he's doing the same thing. I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe doing this for 30 years, So the same calculation, same designs. So then I kind of looked into construction. So actually, the way I landed my job is a bit of a crazy story too. So they have these career fairs each university. And so my graduating year, there was one in Boston. I think it was at the Boston University. So I couldn't go. And my friends took my resume with me, and they gave it to this, the top construction company in the US in Boston. And he pitched me so well. He said, you got to interview this girl, right? So the New York office called me for an interview. Yeah, so anyway, I felt really odd there too because, I felt like, oh, they're not going to give it to me, because there are all these, really Ivy League school kids and all these. And I felt like, I don't know if I should bring that up, but anyway, it's like, well, this is construction, right? This is hardcore construction, so male dominated, obviously. And also, there's the racial factor too, right? So I thought my chances were limited. But anyway, long story short, one day they called me, so I was recruited and sent to the Manhattan office. So I think we are not answering the question again. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I stayed with that company for 11 years. Yeah. So I was in Manhattan. Then I did the international operations for like a year and a half. So I used to travel mostly the Middle East. High rises were done by this company. So I got to go for all that. It was a great experience. And then I did a construction project in Trinidad for a year and a half. I actually lived there for that. But again, with this same company, because it's a giant company. So then I ended up in California with them. So you didn't end your GSK career at this point, did you?
So, yeah, so I was there for 8 years. And by that time, I was the technical lead, and I was looking at the strategic projects and innovations also of GSK. So yeah, it was like kind of a very smooth, like very good journey. As you said, also it was about like career, right? Career progression. How do you want to go up in the ladder and all? I think I had a really good time. So I was progress every year, every other year I got promotions and all, and I think it was a pretty decent career, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the job. And yeah, it was more about innovation, doing new products, introducing new products to Sri Lanka, the medicines, so start manufacturing of things which were imported and having restrictions. So we did things so that we were enabling more people to access medicine. It was a really good job, and I really loved it. So, so it's very interesting to see that I was not an engineering passionate person, but I think more I went to it, and I got a perfect kind of a job to develop products, tech transfer products, and maybe to develop the innovation pipeline of the country. We were doing Sri Lanka, Maldives. So yeah, so that's how it went, and it was a very good one, I think.
Your STEM foundation kind of put you there.
Yeah.
And helped you.
Helped for sure. I think, yeah, and also it fitted my wiring also. Not that I was not a hardcore engineer, that was the thing, but my analytical thinking, I think it matched the thing. Yeah. So we have another question. Okay. So this time I'll read the question. Okay. So I think the previous one was a little longer. But I think, yeah. So this is, when starting your careers, what was your purpose that drove you into the paths you took, and how has the purpose evolved? Right. We kind of answered a little bit.
Answer the first option.
The first option, yeah. But do you want to? Yeah.
Right. So, yeah. So I told you how I got into construction. So it's construction management and development, you can say. So yeah, so my education was heavily design, but this is now more on a management angle. But then that analytical thinking,
Purpose part, how did it
not
at that point?
at that point was yes, I thought I'd be bored doing design, right? And also the money. I think starting out, it's almost double what you would get as an engineer compared to a construction engineer. So yeah, money.
Yeah.
Right? So I went with that. So yeah, I think it suited my personality better. I felt like I would die in a little office. It'll be so boring staying in one place, just looking. Yeah. So that was the right choice. But then there is a side that it took a toll on me, which I didn't realize. It's construction. It's aggressive. It's dealing with lots of people of different backgrounds, and so I became very tough. Yeah. Yeah, but it's like a gradual thing. But yeah, so after like 10 years, I had time to look back at myself, and I'm like, my gosh, 20 years ago, I would have never thought I'd be like this. Yeah. So even some of the most senior people in construction kind of were like, oh my gosh, she's so, tough. Yeah. Dogmatic, and I don't know. So anyway, I moved to California after the Caribbean. No, so still construction. So there are different areas within construction you can do, like cost and, financial angle. So I covered all the basics. I had a good, round career. I think I had some senior people looking out for me and making sure I cover everything. So my trajectory was good. But then I think this was around 2010, 11, there was a recession. This is the 2007 global recession, still trickling, yeah. So we were mostly doing commercial construction. So that was kind of drying out, so we were looking for more federal work. And I thought that looked a little monotonous and boring again. That word boring keeps coming up. So I actually contacted the international division again. And they said there's an opportunity in India. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll check that out. Yeah. So I left California, moved back to New York, checked out India. So that was interesting. So I was there for, I think, a few weeks or something. But then I also came to Sri Lanka at that time. So Sri Lanka, now this is post, the post-war, yeah. So construction was booming here. So all my friends and my family were like, why don't you just come here? So, yeah, and I also wanted to, because, now I had quite a bit of experience in construction, commercial, large scale. So I thought, I would like to share that knowledge in Sri Lanka, right? So I thought, so I wanted to kind of give back. So I thought that's great. So I came here. I had an offer from a blue chip company here. But due to visa issues, that kind of, did not work out. But I did some developments here. Yeah, this too. Yeah, Trace. I mean, I was part of the group that initiated it and was looking at the design, what to do here kind of thing. So I was, it was a great time in Sri Lanka, actually. So this is around 2013, I think. Yeah, thereabouts. So, anyway, my next pivot must have been government. Yeah, so I love animals. I always have. I feel for them. And that naturally kind of stems into environment as well, right? So conservation and all that. So I really was feeling guilty about construction. It's not always brown fields that you build on. You build on green fields as well, right? So I was kind of guilty about that. So I wanted to help the country and do something bigger. So I thought government was the way to go. So I was part of this group. I don't think I should name names, right? But it was planning the... not conservation, but development, right? But a more strategic, high-level planning for the country in a certain region. So I was part of that as a volunteer. And then just as I was about to be appointed officially, changing government, something happened, blah, blah, blah. It didn't work out. But then, so now I'm like trying to do something that helps the people, maybe infrastructure kind of thing. Because earlier I was doing commercial high-rise, right? So now this is another pivot. So then I got this opportunity to work for the Ministry of Wildlife and to oversee their construction through a grant. So at least I got to work with people from that forest and wildlife conservation background, and that's good exposure. I liked it. I tried to do whatever I can to help, let's say, kind of maybe, but I was brought in a little late, not at the design stage, so it was mostly about construction. So yeah, in between I had I took a spiritual sabbatical as well. So this is the period of reassessment, kind of, what is my life? Yeah, purpose. What can I give? What, I feel like I've been taking for a while, so I wanted to give. So that's the whole switch to government as well in that angle. Yeah, I'll stop now and I'll turn it over to you. Post GSK.
Yeah, post GSK in sense, like initially my purpose, I think it was kind of similar, right? Like kind of a good life, money, and like comfortable life, and also meanwhile doing a good in a good field, like giving back to the society. So this was a perfect fit for me. Like in a pharmaceutical company, they are not kind of like you say that it's a corrupted field, but I think I should mention it. The place I work, it was really good. I think they were really looking after people and having a really good vision to help more people while obviously making money, but it was a good company. So it fitted a lot. That's why even though I got several other opportunities in between, I stick to it, even though financially this was not I would say it was a good one, but I think I could have gone to different places. But I think their purpose and how the vibe of the company that helped me that resonated with me. So that's when I stayed there. So I think I could have even stayed for more longer because I think it was good. Because my career was growing, and I was also moving from a engineering base to because I was leading technical. So I was like working on strategic projects, tech transfers, new product development, those kind of, so which was very interesting for me. So my mind is like always like try to be analytical and map the dots and kind of, right? So it worked well. And in between, as you said, the spiritual sabbatical, I also started thinking about certain things in terms of the spirituality, and I went through certain aspects, and I found a new path also to understand the whole mainstream that I was going through a career ladder. I could have even gone to a regional kind of this thing if I continued, but this stop in 2015, that gave a different perspective about what I'm actually doing, and I started thinking about things, and then so it evolved like that, right? So that's when then something very interesting happened. So like I was playing cricket, right? So I had an injury in one of the matches, and I had to stay in my bed for 7 days. I couldn't walk. I couldn't go to work. And at the same week, one of my close uncles got a kidney disease. So that's when my purpose of helping more people came up. And I was thinking, okay, this problem, this could be for everyone, right? Sri Lanka, you don't have organic food. It's not affordable. It's not reliable. It's not available. So can I solve that problem? So one thing that, like, when you talk about purpose, one thing that was key in my life was that I was like kind of a believer that, like, I don't know, it says a dreamer. But I'm like, okay, so if you believe in something, I was thinking, like, you should be able to achieve it. Always something comes like, okay, people in US send rockets to Mars and Moon, but if we can't think of smaller things, it can't be, right? I mean, I was like thinking in that sense every time. So when I came with this problem of this kidney disease thing, I was thinking, okay, why can't we set up something that everyone could eat pure organic food? Then like one of my friends, I talked to him, and when my knee injury got healed, I put a personal loan, and then I got one of my father's place to start my shop. And I went throughout the country to find people who could do organic, and that's when this passion started kicking off. And like say, okay, you have to do it. You have to make organic food available to everyone. You should be able to do it. Otherwise, it's a shame. So that's why then I started it, like knowing very little about it. And that was the first thing. And that's when I also realized we've had few startups in my uni days. We had a travel company, tourism company. We started renting tents. We had few things like there was an entrepreneurial person inside me also. So that's when it started kicking in a serious term. So then I started it from scratch, from zero, with a personal loan, not having any educational background. But I did my MBA, but I had some insights on that. But then I started that. And then in 2021, actually I wanted, then my exploration about life and mind also kept on, like about 6 years now for that. And then I told that there were a lot of people who were getting help through me through mentoring. I was a mentor to few people. And one day I felt like, okay, if I have to help people, okay, I'm helping them with allowing organic food to people and helping them figure out certain things in terms of their understanding about life and mind and spirituality. And why can't I dedicate everything to that? Then that's when I had few burdens financially in terms of a loan, this particular loan, and a car lease. And I settled everything as soon as possible. And that's when I said, yeah, I'll take a decision. I'll move out. And I can still remember the day that I told it to my boss, and I think if he watches it, I think that we had a very, very good relationship, and he was also surprised. Where are you going? I said, I don't have a place to go. Then I said, I'm thinking of doing lecturing. Then he helped me to tell that, okay, what a lecturing career would look like in a country like this. And then financially, how would that look like? And he very kindly offered me, if he asked me certain questions, and then I answered my pure intention of doing this. And he completely understood it. I really respect him, because like a lot of people would not understand it, right? He said, okay, I really respect it, but if you really want to do that as well as do something to earn, why want to come here and work for 2 days in a consultant role? That perfectly fitted me, because I said I will only work 3 days per week and dedicate 4 days to whatever else. He said, okay, 2 days you work here, 1 day you do your lecturing thing and try out that. So I'll give that leeway for you to try out what you're trying. If that fails, maybe we can talk again after 6 months. That was great, very nice of him. Yeah. So he was Chanaka. So Chanaka said, okay, so we'll try this, and it really worked well also. So I was doing consultant role. I did for about 1 year, and did my lecturing. I started my lecturing career also, like visiting lecturing for some of the private and public universities. And as he said rightly, it was not sufficient for me to like earn stable income. So, but this consultant role helped me. So the purpose now has changed from having a like kind of comfortable life while doing a good thing for the world, but now it's more skewed to helping more people. How can I help more people with whatever I know or whatever I have, right? So then slowly it shifted, and then I had a chat with Good Life X, and they had this role for a COO. They were looking for a COO, and I said, okay, still my purpose is there, so I can't dedicate more than 2 to 3 days, but I will do that, because this also helped a lot of because it's a country coming up from a bankrupted kind of a situation, right? We were hit badly with economy. I thought that maybe I can help a lot of people, because this is a company which helps a lot of startups. So they have helping more than 100 startups. So maybe I can contribute through that, and I can still be a mentor. I can still be a lecturer. It's kind of a perfect fit. So that's how it turned out to come to this. And meanwhile, I also started a couple of more companies which we are also started together. So one is like this mind engineering stuff, which also to help more people to better understand mind and their happiness levels and relieve their stress. So that's when we did this research and started this mind engineering thing. And then also helped my parents, like specifically my mother, because he's from a Ayurvedic herbal medicine background. So her formulation from her ancestors. So I started commercializing it. So there are like 2-3 companies that I'm starting up so that I can help in different ways to more people. So that's how it's been pivoting from a engineering corporate career, but smoothly into more dedicating to helping more people kind of a career. Right. Do we have any other questions? Oh, right, we have. So the next question is, what caused the shift in your purpose, which we already did cover, and how did you begin manifesting it?
Did it manifest before pivoting or kind of? I don't think I really ever visualize anything into, being. It just kind of flows, right? Yeah.
So I can add something probably. Yeah. So I think it's more about the intention for me at least. So I think high intention. It's not about the state that you fall into, that you manifest that and go into that. But that was the earlier way, right? So when I started the engineering career, it was that. So I manifest a state or this thing, and then I start working towards it. But then slowly realized maybe there's a better way to work it around and find your inner self. For example, what helps you to fulfill your inner self most. And if, for example, in this case, to help more people, and with that intention, you take each and every turn of your path to that intention, so that the path gets created, kind of, right? So it's like.
But I think all these, I don't know, on YouTube and all that you see about this manifestation and all that, most of them are saying about specifics. Be specific and you will get the specific. But I think in our case, we are more like, we want to help others. So we had this higher kind of purpose, right?
Which
so
would have not been very specific.
Not specific. That's the thing. Not specific, right?
I agree.
So then it just kind of, that path evolves gradually, right? I don't know. I guess it depends on the individual, right?
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm thinking is like when you want to have specifics also, that is also stemming from a holistic thing. Either you want to live a better life, help people, kind of, right? So one approach is that you achieve these specifics and go about there, and also the other way is that you think about the higher or the core intention and have that very strongly and stick into that and take decisions. So those are two approaches, I would say. So, but I think that's how it.
No, I mean, not to knock on the specifics, but I think you kind of limit yourself if you kind of put a specific right there. I feel like you might not kind of get to another higher level that you could have because you kind of blocked it right there. Yeah.
I agree actually. So I think I also agree because I think that specific also is a manifestation that you had, right? That's based on your belief, your knowledge. That will also frame you in a way. Either you want, limits you, but maybe specific so that you can, it's tangible and you can do it. But that might not be the optimum thing to achieve your higher this thing. I don't know. Yeah, it might depend on the person, but at least for people who thinks in this way, probably it works. Yeah. Yeah. So we have another question. Okay. I don't know how long this is taking, but yeah. Did your engineering experience prove an advantage or disadvantage in your new realm?
Oh, okay. I think we kind of addressed it, but no, I'm very happy with my engineering background in any field, I'd say, because I guess it also comes from personality. I don't know whether it's engineering per se, but it's like I kind of structure everything, kind of analyze everything, right? So I think it comes in handy in any area.
Yeah, so I also agree. So because like my mind is also wired in that sense, and I also practiced it as an engineer, studying it and practicing it. That really helped to map things, structure things. That worked really well. I think that's a clear advantage, and also chemical and process engineering. Also to be specific, I think that's more about it's little a broader engineering discipline. It's not about very specific, right? It's about like using resources, like putting up new plants. Like it has like we had to learn electrical, electronics, mechanical, material, everything, right? It's like kind of overall engineering this thing. So I think I don't know that helped for me because I had to learn everything. It was not very specific because I was not a technically like I didn't want to do a like kind of a structural design kind of a person.
Chemical is animate and inanimate, no?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that kind of gives you a
Yeah, so it's like a more process engineering also. Like it's like helps you to structure things, processify things. So that helped me, and even now, I mean, even you are doing certain other things. I think it helps a lot to structure and come to a solution so that you practiced it throughout your life. So,
So I'm saying that your chemical engineering background, now you're interested in agriculture, that also kind of blends in, yeah. So my civil is quite limiting.
oh, okay. But anyway, overall, in terms of mind engineering, also the engineering thought triggered us to convert things in terms of understanding the mind structure, mechanics.
Always trying to figure out how things work, right?
Yeah.
Organize it in a way that is more beneficial, right? So that's what it is, right? Yep. One more, okay. Okay, I'll read the last one. Do you see yourself evolving from this point, or have you found your final purpose?
Well, so this is when this second approach comes handy, because it was always about your like ultimate purpose, right? So in this approach, you think about your ultimate purpose and take decisions then and there to go there. So then in that approach, you don't have any other space, at least at the moment, to change because your ultimate purpose is the current thing that might not fit completely, but at the moment that is the 100% viable, practicable fit because you take every decision for that purpose. You take all the pivots to that purpose. So I think operationally there could be things changing because I think maybe when you go through it, when you maybe achieve your financial maybe targets which needs for your day-to-day operations, maybe things could skew, but I think in terms of purpose, I think it's kind of figured out. I think it's there. It's there, and I think it's just that you take everyday decisions towards it, towards maximum fulfilling it. So I think at this moment, I think I'm at the optimum practicably possible place for my purpose. It can evolve, but the purpose will be the same, probably to help as much as possible with whatever the understanding, knowledge, experience that I have to more people, and the day-to-day operation can change, but yeah, the purpose would stay.
Yeah, same for me. I mean, I could pivot again, but that higher purpose remains the same. Yeah. So I like it like that. I mean, it's organic. I'm not stuck anywhere, right?
Yeah, it's free flowing.
Yeah, free flowing. Yes. So, like, you're the one who told me about GLX, right? I mean, that's quite a pivot for me. But I was like, oh, if I can help people in that regards, then I'm open to it. So I will continue to be so, I think, right?
So actually, the free flowing thing, that I think that's a very important thing, right? So in your life, if you can be in a free flowing state in whatever thing you do, so you're not constrained, you're not like pressured, you're not like skewed because of some other thing. So this is also what you mentioned as passion, right? So you have a passion. How do you find it? Through your ultimate visible purpose, right? Once you align to that and take each and every single decision towards that, then you are in that free-flowing state. As you rightly said, like GLX helps people, businesses to grow in a bankrupted country. That definitely syncs with that. and to do mind engineering to help more people to figure it out, the structure and mechanism of mind, that's the same flow. So I think the word is free flowing. Yeah. So if you are in the free flowing state, how to go about there is that find your higher state of purpose and take everyday decisions towards that. Then you come to that free flowing state, maybe. Yeah.
You know, I mean, you need some guidance, so let that be your guide, right?
Yeah, that's a good guide.
Yeah, it's a good guide for your
But if you are
higher.
sure about your purposes, sometimes you might not know about your.
Some might struggle with identifying that, right? So, but I think as you know mature, you realize it's about others, not about yourself. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. So I think we don't have any other questions, but I think if someone is listening, I think probably I don't want to give advices or anything, but I think if you are sure about something which is your higher purpose, I think that's when I think that's a function of understanding that and taking courageous decisions and believing in you. That helps. That helps to come to your free flowing state. And yeah, I'm actually happy with how it's going with my life, and I'm hopeful that a lot of people would be able to come to that free flowing state as soon as possible if they're not already.
Right? Shall we wrap it up? Okay. Thank you.